Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be showing you how to use the INT8 model of FSR Upscaler in conjunction with XeSS or FSR Frame Generation in Visions of Mana. We'll be testing the game on my Rog Ally that comes with Windows 11, Radeon 780M GPU based on RDNA 3 architecture. It's the PC Gamepass version of the game. This game only supports FSR 2 Upscaler, does not support any frame generation technique. So I'll be using the in-game FSR 2 Upscaler to activate Optiscaler Mod. We'll use OptiFG Upscaler as the frame generation source for enabling FSR or XeSS frame generation. I've already done my testing. This game uses Unreal Engine 4. Optiscaler frame generation works very nicely, both FSR and XeSS, but FSR frame gen produces more graphical artifacts than XeSS frame gen. A tearing like effect is visible around the left and right edges of the display when we are spinning the camera with FSR frame gen on. The fast travel point also exhibits some graphical artifacts. These artifacts are not present in the case of XeSS frame gen. Before jumping into the gameplay, would like to thank keymailer and Xbox for providing me with a free monthly subscription of PC Game Pass. This subscription gives us access to hundreds of games. We can play these games for as long as we want until our subscription expires. Games from first-party Microsoft Studio and even third-party studios are available on PC Game Pass. Even EA Play membership is included. I'll be using the latest build of Optiscaler Mod version 0.9 PV5 20251106. It's available on their Discord server. Just click on the .7z link here. FSR SDK was leaked a couple of months ago. It included files corresponding to the INT8 model of FSR 4. These files could be used to compile an FSR 4 DLL. Big thanks to Reddit user athlete-dependent926 for doing this and sharing the file with the community. Just click on the Go file link here. Download AMD Fidelity FX Upscaler tx12.dll file. Click on download here. Now I'll install Optiscaler Mod. Just open its archive file. Select the highlighted files, Optiscaler.ini, mods configuration file, Optiscaler.dll file, mod loader file, libxeSS_fg.dll, XeSS frame generation file, DX11 version of XeSS super resolution not required, libxeSS.dll, XeSS super resolution file for DX12 and Vulkan APIs, libxcll.dll, XeSS low latency mode file, fakenv API.ini, fakenv API.dll. It's required for using XCLL, not using Nukem 9's mod. The game does not support any frame generation technique. Vulkan version of Fidelity FX not required. Select all of the DX12 versions of Fidelity FX files. DLSS override folders not required. Right click, copy. Open Xbox PC app, go to your library, select the game. Click on the three dots here, click on manage, click on files, click on browse. This will open the game's installed directory. Open content folder, open Visions of Mana folder, binaries folder, WinGTK folder, paste everything here. Now we need to change the name of Optiscaler.dll file to dxgi.dll. Select the file, right click, rename, type dxgi. Mod has been installed. Now I'll install FSR 4 Upscaler. Just copy its AMD Fidelity FX Upscaler tx12.dll file that you downloaded from Reddit. Need to paste it in the games installed directory where you install Optiscaler Mod, content folder, Visions of Mana folder, binaries folder, WinGTK folder right here. Replace the existing file. Done. This game's profile does not pop up automatically in Adrenaline software. We need to manually add the game shortcut file to Adrenaline. In the game's installed directory where you install Optiscaler Mod, look for the game's main exe file. There it is, Visions of Mana, WinGTK, shipping. Select it, right click, show more options. Send to desktop create shortcut. Now we just need to add this desktop shortcut file to Adrenaline. Open Adrenaline software. Go to its gaming section, click on the three dots here, click on add a game. Click on desktop, look for the game's desktop file. There it is, select it, click on open. I have already added it to Adrenaline. Adrenaline settings for the game, FreeSync, VSync on. I have set the UMA buffer size to 5 GB. My Ally is running on BIOS version 342. Install Ally's latest official GPU driver that adds support for Doom the Dark Ages. Install Ally's latest official GPU driver that added support for Battlefield 6. Using a 27 watts manual profile, all three power values set at 27 watts. CPU boost disabled. resolution set to 720p. As I'll be using Optiscaler's hotfix feature to prevent the game's HUD elements from flickering, won't be using RTSS or Afterburner to show you the performance stats. Simply use Adrenaline's performance overlay. Launch the game from Adrenaline software. Connected my FlyDigi Vader 4 Pro controller to allow our Bluetooth mode X input controller. In-game settings, display mode set to borderless windowed, 720p resolution, max frame rate, unlimited, VSync disable. Yeah, FSR Upscaler enable using its quality preset. Graphics settings set to high. That's it. Once the game loads up, just press the insert keyboard key to open Optiscaler menu. I'll increase its size. Click on the drop down bar next to menu UI scale, set the value to 1.2, much better. The upscaler used is XeSS version 2.0.2. Input in-game FSR upscaler. TXT spoofing disabled by default. Auto Explorer setting is off, so I'll just enable it. You need to make sure that FSR pattern setting is enabled in Optiscaler Mod. Just expand upscaler input section. Yeah, it's enabled by default with this build of Optiscaler. If this setting is not enabled, use FSR pattern matching. Optiscaler upscaler won't work. Okay, I'll switch to FSR upscaler. Click on the drop down bar next to change upscaler. Select FSR 3.x as the option. Click on change upscaler again. Yeah, FSR 4 is working now. Model setting set to default, automatically selected model 0. Cannot change it with this build of Optiscaler Mod, so leave it as it is. Frame generation disabled for the time being. Some of the floating particles in the environment are not rendered properly with the INT8 model of FSR upscaler. Base resolution 856 by 480 pixels, upscale to 720p resolution. Save INI close. There's a character file. I have one companion with me, AI control. Here FPS is a bit variable, 45 to 50. Good performance on Ally even without frame generation, and the image quality is looking very sharp even when the game is running at 720p resolution. No ghosting is produced around the character model, but some of the particles in the environment are not rendered properly, especially these yellow colored floating particles. Just highlight this issue. Open Optiscaler menu and check this setting, non-linear color space. Yeah, you can see the yellow colored floating particles now. See, but with this setting enabled, some shimmering is produced around the grass textures. This is the problem. See the shimmer. So it's up to you which setting of FSR upscaler you want to use. I'm observing some shimmering around armor as well, so I'll just disable non-linear color space setting. Back to the game. Yeah, those yellow colored floating particles are almost gone, but now the grass textures are not producing any shimmering effect. Okay, now I'll show you how to enable FSR Frame Gen. Just open Optiscaler menu, click on the drop down bar next to FG source and select OptiFG Upscaler as the option. Click on the drop down bar next to FG output and select FSR FG as the option. I'll also enable Optiscaler's performance overlay. Expand FPS overlay section, check the setting FPS overlay enable. Full plus graph, 1.3 scale. Save INI close. You start the game. Launch. Once the game loads up, just open Optiscaler menu and check the setting active under Frame Generation FSR FG. This will enable FSR Frame Gen. I'll also enable Alloy Sync setting. Can help in improving the performance with frame generation enabled and the game hitting the GPU bottleneck. Hotfix setting need to be enabled in order to prevent the game's HUD element from flickering. Limit value set to 1. Now I'll show you FSR Frame Gen debug view. Check the debug view setting. Yeah, displays are working properly for all of the images. No game's HUD elements are visible in the bottom middle image, so they should not flicker with FSR Frame Gen enabled. Color palette is exactly the same for the bottom middle and bottom right images. Smoothing effect of FSR should work properly. And check the debug view. just play the game. FPS, yeah, it increased to around 95. Animation quality, it's looking so smooth, buttery smooth. Okay, this is the fast travel point. I just spin the camera, observe it. It's flickering. Frame generation related graphical artifact, FSR Frame Gen. See, wasn't flickering before when we were playing the game without frame gen. And if you observe the left and right edges of the display, you will notice a screen tearing like effect when I spin the camera. This effect becomes more noticeable when the base FPS is on the lower side. No ghosting is produced around our character model, so that's good to see. 10 by 10 when it comes to the smoothing effect of FSR frame generation, but it does produce some graphical artifacts. I'm looking for some NPCs. No signs of stuttering. Now I'm in the fire village. Just observe our character shadow. It will look a bit blurry during fast visual motion. See, when my character is sprinting. Okay, now I'll switch to XeSS frame generation. Real world input delay, it's manageable as the base FPS is on the higher side. Open Optiscaler menu, make sure FG source is set to OptiFG Upscaler. Click on the drop down bar next to FG output and select XeFG as the option. Uncheck active setting under FSR FG. Also uncheck allow async and hotfix setting. Save INT8 close. Restart the game. Launch. Once the game loads up, open Optiscaler menu, check the setting active under frame generation XeFG. This will enable XeSS frame gen. You can check the debug view. If XeSS frame gen is working, you will see these purple sidebars flickering. Frame time graph will become thick. Uncheck the debug view. Enable hotfix settings, set the limit value to 1. Now the game subtitles won't flicker with XeFG enabled. Show detected UI setting enabled. Game's HUD elements will be highlighted pink in color. XeFG is working properly. Uncheck the show detected UI setting. Game does not have reflex, so XeLL is not working. Here just observe the fast travel point. Spinning the camera with XeFG enabled. It's not flickering. See? XeFG produces less graphical artifacts than FSR in this game. Move to the next spot. 70 to 80 FPS here. This is the real world input delay, definitely manageable. XeSS frame gen's latency seems to be slightly lower than that of FSR frame gen. 70 to 90 FPS depending on the area. I'm heading for the village. Now I'm in the village. Just observe a character shadow running around. Yeah, it's not flickering, not looking blurry with XeFG on. Another save point. So very good results produced by XeSS frame generation in this game. FSR 4 INT8 Upscaler is not perfect, can produce some shimmering around the vegetation. Some of the floating particles are not rendered properly. You can try using XeSS Upscaler via Optiscaler if you want, completely up to you. That's it with the video guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.